Alrighty, folks, welcome back. This is Deathitist. I'm going to do another recap video. It's been 2 turns since my turn 8 recap, which puts us at, you guessed it, turn 10. You can see by the victory point score that the game is, like most of these games go, or so I'm told. Very early, it's in Axis favor, and then slowly it creeps back in the favor of one of the other alliances. Or sometimes not. I don't know. This is my second game. Regardless, quick recap of what's happened the last 2 turns. They have been spicy. Um, in turn 8, Italy declared war on the UK and trapped the fleet in port. Well, check it out. There's an Italian light cruiser in port. Um, in any case, the fleet's still trapped in port, and there's a bunch of Italian planes that have been bombing it and doing port attacks. And the AAAs have missed all of them, I'm pretty sure. Um, in other news, Russia is finally in the war. Germany and Japan declared war on them as soon as the Russian turn ended on turn 10, and Japan took advantage of that to invade Mongolia and several parts of Russia over here, essentially decimating the entire Russian ground force in this part of the world. It was pretty brutal, um, but they're not done yet. They've also continued taking over India, took southern Iran as well, which flipped northern Iran and Azerbaijan British, but took away the neutrality bonus for the UK. The KMT moved out of Yunnan. That was a big thing that happened on turn 10. We'll see what happens going forward there. The Japanese have consolidated all of the Money Islands and such here in the Pacific and then dropped their fleet off of the Caroline Islands in P46. The US consolidated their fleet off of the Midway Islands in Midway Islands, I don't know, in P22, and also finished large ship construction and improved construction. So the US is starting to drop heavy battleships in, which is given them a very solid lead on Big Blue Fleet and taken away Kido Butai. Will it be enough to turn the tide of this ridiculously strong Japan? I don't know. They're at $76 right now, and the US has 77. That's a lot. Over here in Europe, the stalemate has continued. However, with Russia and Germany being at war now, I would expect something to happen along this front here. The crazy part was when a transport from northern Norway moved 123 all the way over and took Labrador, killing the American medium bomber that was sitting there. That was nuts. So in response, America moved and took northern Norway back. And we can probably expect some shenanigans from the Soviets in the rest of Norway coming up here. For those of you who have been counting, my horrible luck over here, remember when I attacked with 2 cavalry and they failed to kill militia both times I did that? Well, it's continuing over here, and I attacked with the medium bomber and got 0 hits carpet bombing. The only time I've gotten any hits was in this weird attack, which I thought went great, but that's because I forgot to take my casualties off round 1. And turns out, that'll get you. Other big news, their ASW has been completed by the British. The British factory got the crap bombed out of it. I mean, that's a lot of damage. I don't think even Flex Tape can fix that. The Soviet fleet is now sitting in A6. Hopefully they continue to be friendly. We will see. The Germans have been sending a lot of resources to Italy to continue to put pressure on keeping this fleet in port. And other big news, Italy took Gibraltar. So the Allied forces are essentially locked out of the Med, except through Lend-Lease and the factories down here, and then going by rail up to Cairo. The Middle East, Aden is Japanese, Madagascar is Japanese, Japan is just spread everywhere. So that's where we're sitting at turn 10. We're going to be going into 11 soon, and it's a very exciting game here in Operation Tirpitz, and I'm truly enjoying playing with all of my fellow players. Anyway, thanks for following along, and have a wonderful evening.